Welcome back to the Bourbon Note, everybody. I'm Ben. I got a sample in the bar tonight from a brand I've never had before. Let's get into it. So on the bar tonight, I've got, bam, this is a sample from Dave Renstrom. This is a Middle West Spirits cask strength dark pumpernickel rye, single barrel from Stuffin' Whiskey and Maumee Valley Whiskey Society, Mission Earth. 6 years old, 128.68 proof. So, I'm super excited to try this. You can see I already have a pour of this out because I have tried to film this review a number of times and something just keeps going wrong over and over with my equipment. So, this has been sitting out in the bar in front of me for like 30 minutes now and I have not taken a sip of it yet. That's how bad this has gone. But anyway, that happens sometimes. Let's get into the whiskey. I'm super excited to try something from Middle West because some of you that watch the channel regularly maybe notice that I put up like bourbon hunting shorts and bourbon hunting videos. And one of the things I like to do is when I travel, I go to duty-free shops and film them. And a lot of times when my wife and I travel, we fly out of Terminal 2 at MSP. And they always have the exact same bottles because it's a small terminal and they don't really have much of a selection. But they have these Middle West spirit selections. And I've always been interested in them. And anytime I've put a post up about them, people have said that their products are really good. And so I know that this one is a single barrel pick, so not everybody has access to it because it's single barrel. And these might be sold out too, I'm assuming they are. So I'm just gonna throw this out there kind of as a review of a product from Middle West Spirits because I'm super excited to get into this. I've heard that their dark pumpernickel rye is really good. And so, just consider this a reflection of the brand itself, I guess. And sometimes it's fun to just get out here and talk about whiskey even though not everybody has access to it because it's a single barrel. So, take this for what you can get out of it. Let's get into the nose here because again, this has been sitting in front of me forever. On the nose, this is just fantastic on the nose. Really, really nice, rich balance of like nice baking spices, sweetness. There's a balance of the oak there. A little rye spice, but not, it's not coming across as like 100% rye. Which, I don't know, it might be, but it's definitely coming across as, almost like a bourbon drinker's rye. Not that ryes don't have their sweetness, but this has a really, really nice sweetness that I would say kind of leans into the bourbon category a little bit with the brown sugar. There's a really kind of a dark caramel sort of note, a bit of molasses. And then just like a nice oak spice kind of wrapping the whole thing up. Let's get into the palate. I'm super, super pumped about this now that I've gotten into the nose. Let's get into it. Cheers. So right off the bat, that's excellent. I love that. The main thing that I noticed right off of just that first sip is the viscosity on this thing is fantastic. I mean, it's one of those ones that almost comes across as like textured. You ever have like a sip of a whiskey and it almost feels like it's textured a little bit? I'm getting that. I'm getting a really super rich brown sugar on this and I'm loving it. But there is a nice rye spice. There's a bit of vanilla coming through. The sweetness on ryes that I typically get kind of lean a little more towards the vanilla category, at least just for me. That's why I said that this is kind of like seems like it might be a bourbon drinker's rye or bourbon drinker friendly rye, I guess. Because that rich brown sugar and that dark caramel. But yeah, that just, the viscosity on this thing, it's clinging to the glass very nicely. I'm gonna get right into the second sip and pick this apart. After having a couple more sips, this is excellent. This is an absolute banger. I don't know if Middle West source, no, they don't source actually, because I did see on their website, I think they're like a farm to glass distillery. So if this is their own juice that they're putting out, it's incredible. That's maybe one of the better, kind of smaller. I don't know how big their, availability is. Again, I see them at the duty-free shop, but I don't think I mentioned, I don't think I've ever seen I don't really see this at liquor stores in Minnesota, so I don't even know if it's available here. But I do know you can order their products online. I know they ship to a lot of states. And I think I will be going online and ordering some stuff from them because this is just absolutely fantastic. It's just got a little bit of everything. It's got a great, the rye spice came through after sipping on it a little bit more, but the rye spice is balanced out with that excellent brown sugar note that I talked about, the vanilla, the dark caramel. There's a great oak spice to this, and just with that viscosity around it, this thing is just a monster. And yeah, I could see myself sipping on this all night. Which, you know, at 128.68 proof, probably not a good idea, so I don't think I'll actually be doing that, but this seems like one of those whiskeys where you get it in the glass and you just can't put it down. Speaking of which, I'm going in for the final sip. Yeah, that is just an excellent rounded out whiskey. It's so well balanced. Like, it's one of those ones where everything, every aspect of it is just perfectly tuned. You know, I don't need to go over the tasting notes again, but they're all just perfectly EQ'd, you know, and it just makes for a really, really, it comes across as a premium bourbon. This definitely has a premium bourbon experience to it. Now, I don't know what the price point on this was when it was sold. I'm assuming through like, you know, Stuff and Whiskey's Patreon. By the way, go check out Stuff and Whiskey. They do a great job. I'm assuming if you're seeing my channel, you probably know who they are. But the stuff that I see at the airport tends to run around the $100 price point, and I think they have a port finish pumpernickel rye, and then they have like a sherry cask finish wheater, I think, and then maybe a couple other things. But again, I've always been curious. One of the reasons I've never bought one is you know, the $100 price point, if you don't know anything about the brand, is kind of like a, you know, do you want to, you know, take the risk that that brand sucks? I will definitely be looking into these products because this brand, just based on this, from what I can tell, is amazing. So, you know, I don't always want to roll the dice on a $100 bottle of a brand I know nothing about. The other thing is I would have to be buying it at Minneapolis, and then I would have to take it with me on vacation. I don't want to, you know, lug a bottle of whiskey around with me if I don't have to. So anyway, there's that. But yeah, this is incredible. Let me know in the comments a little bit more about Middle West Spirits if you guys know anything about it. I'm assuming some of you do because, like I said, I have gotten some comments in the bourbon hunting, you know, videos that I've put up that have this in it from the duty free, and people have said that it's really good. So based on this, again, I'm going to be exploring this brand for sure. This has been Middle West Spirits Dark Pumpernickel Rye from Stuff and Whiskey and the Maumee Valley Whiskey Society, courtesy of Dave Renstrom. Dave, thank you so much. This is incredible, and I am looking forward to crushing the rest of this bottle. We will see you on the next one. This has been the Bourbon Note. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I screwed up the outro. We'll see you on the next one.